Welcome to Planet Pluto Pseudo.
Bravo. What's happening? What's happening, good people? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, right? AKA Key Lolo. That's right. It's going down tonight. We are on Planet Pluto Pseudo on our 7th episode. And look who I'm with. Whoops. There she is right there. That's right. Cheryl Morrow, not the, but the hair oracle is in the HOUSE, or AKA Mama Ship. That's right. We are on the mothership. We are on Planet Pluto Pseudo. And tonight, don't we got some pseudos that we about to get it. They in the chat. What's up, LB? Lawana, what's happening? Hair Savant, it's almost time for us to meet in person. Ooh, look at Cheryl's ring. Somebody's got some gold. Let me see that ring again. And that's noise. This is noise.
Thank you.
That's really nice. Look at my rings. Check that out there. Yeah, let's go here.
Oh, yeah, I love that one. I
got
love
the little Madagascar chilling on over. Look at the little Madagascar. Yeah, is that Madagascar? I think. I don't know.
No, it's that. It's the continent, and then the continent is just Madagascar as an island.
Okay, it's an island.
The whole thing is there.
Okay, the whole thing is there. That's right. And look at that. Look at that hair.
Ebony.
African. Hey, this is my Afrocentric starter kit. That's what Chill calls this. You know you have an Afrocentric starter kit when you got your Jinyame. Check it out. You gotta have your Crobo. Hold on, wait a minute. You gotta have some unks. Check it out now. You know, y'all got to get y'all African-centric. Y'all got to get y'all blickety black on. You love it, Hair Savant. I'm telling you, you got to have your little stuff. Because Cheryl, she got all the little science. Look at all that, them symbols and stuff, all the little, little formulations. I got some artwork back there. Look at my little bootleg Josephine Baker. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look. There's some Egyptian stuff. Well, I'm going to give me some science stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening? What's up? We got Mississippi in the house. Hattie Mae. She goes by Lakeisha Glenn is in the chat. That's my true BFF. And she is in Mississippi. I always say, spell it, Hattie Mae, spell it. So we are going to have like a cool conversation tonight. This one is content heavy because we're going to be talking about distribution. So you have your distributors, and then you have the actual distribution. And so I'm going to tell you, when I became a cosmetologist, I just really couldn't seem to figure out, this whole salon quality versus, buying stuff from the local beauty supply stores. And that's because as soon as I bought, I'm talking about, I damn near hoed to get my retail, okay? And so I had Biolodge. If you remember Alterna, drop Alterna in the chat. Drop the A, okay? You might not remember Alterna, but Alterna had this line that was called like Caviar, and they had Liz Taylor, promoting it. And you remember Alterna? Okay. And then Lonza. Y'all remember Lonza had the color? That's when the color conditioners first came out. Okay. All right. We got some hairstylists in the chat. All right. And so you wouldn't believe this, but it seemed like literally like the next month or something, like before the summer was out, everything was available in CVS with the discount card. So you could find them like in Target, not Target. Target wasn't out back then. It was CVS. You could go to TJ Maxx, definitely the grocery store. And so this new big word was called diversion. Does anybody remember that? You remember that, Cheryl?
Oh my goodness.
You remember that?
You brought me back to that one.
Okay. All right. So tonight we need to go there. We need to go there. We need to talk about distribution, and what that means. Now, Cheryl is really going to be the pseudo killer on this topic. I found some clips. I mean, I was scouring that. Hey, Hattie Mae, I went to YouTube University to get these clips. Hair Savant. I went and look at my little glasses I got from the dollar store. Look at these little dollar store glasses trying to catch up with Cheryl, okay? And so Hattie Mae hooked me on to the readers. Hattie Mae, remember that time I was doing a manicure, right? And I was like this. Here go Hattie Mae, try these. I was like, oh shoot, what's this magic? I was like, ooh, what's these? And so, anywho, so I went, Chrissy told me to go to the dollar store. That's my other BFF. So she said, go to the dollar store and get some. So these look nice for the little dollar store.
They do.
They do, don't they? Little dollar store right up there on Mayfield. Y'all go to the dollar store and get y'all some of these dollar store glasses, okay?
Not front on the dollar store.
Yeah, these are 1.0. They have little numbers on there, So anywho, Hattie Mae, I'm still rocking it out. Okay. So I'll be trying to look smart like Cheryl. Ain't nobody gonna call me no hair Earl, because they're gonna be like hair hood. It's okay, Hair Savant. It is okay because I'm hood and proud of it. All right. So we're gonna leave the hair oracle over to Cheryl, but Cheryl is really going to help us understand this whole distribution. What is a distributor, right? We're going to go through that. We're going to first find out what does that mean. Of course, we have to talk about, okay, I hope there are no product reps in the chat. Why? But I don't like the product reps. They used to be good. The best product rep ever. His name is Jim Oswald. They just don't make them like Jim anymore. I mean, Jim, I call Jim Captain Save. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. So Jim would save us, let me tell you. But he was a true product rep. I mean, boy, he was good today. I don't know what's going on with these product reps. That's right, Hattie Mae. You remember Jim? I'm gonna put all his business out there. He actually still does he actually opened up his own company, and I'm sure he won't mind me throwing him some love. And his name is Jim Oswald. And you don't have a minimum that you have to buy. He is absolutely like so phenomenal. And he has saved us on several occasions. But anywho, we need to have this conversation because it doesn't get talked about, right? So Cheryl, I think I have you in. Dewey, everybody that's on the Facebook, you guys don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit the heart button and keep being interactive with us here in the chat, because this channel is growing. And so Cheryl and I, we appreciate you guys so very much. But you know what we do before we get started? We always start off with some get reels. So we have 2 get reels, and this is real as an REELS, and this is where I deliberately go over to TikTok. I don't take anything off of YouTube or Instagram. I go straight to TikTok because TikTok be having like the funniest stuff over there. So we got some cool reels to help get the conversation going. This is our 7th episode. You are on Planet Pluto Pseudo, so get off the mothership where everybody's got a little light under the sun. They might be too young, sure. They don't know nothing about that.
They don't know nothing about that.
So this particular reel is actually a segue into our topic on Tuesday, which is going to be about, does the seasons make your hair, grow or come out? So let's hear what they're saying on TikTok You ready, Hair Savant? You ready, Luana, Hattie Mae? Everybody ready? All right, here we go. What happens to your hair during the seasonal changes? Here we go.
Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about seasonal hair shedding. So if you've noticed that in the summer months, your hair sheds more, it's because it does, about by 10% more. Your hair just enters the resting stage more because of the extreme temperatures, which if you live in a climate that's really hot, like Arizona or something, then this is gonna happen quite often.
If you struggle with a lot of hair shedding, then quit scrolling. It's my favorite time of year, it's fall time, but you can actually shed more in the fall time. You can have more hair loss in the fall because of the decrease in sunlight exposure into the fall from the summer, so that can lead to lower vitamin D levels.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on. Now, Cheryl, before you break this down, I see, we need to know. We need to know. Because I hear this a lot. And I'm not going to tell no lie. I'm just going to go ahead and tell the truth. I actually went to a class and I'm telling you, a instructor for a hair care company, she actually said to the class, my co-workers, Ebony was there. Let me send Ebony the chat. So Ebony, she was there. My colleague Kendra, she was there. You know what I'm saying? And so, and she told everybody in the class, she was teaching how to use a protein treatment, right? And she said, but I don't know why anybody in a hair salon would be giving a treatment in the fall, because during the fall, your hair comes out, so it's futile. And at that moment, seriously, we got up and we walked out. I know, Lisa, duh. But that is what she said. So, Cheryl, is it any truth that during the season, when the summer comes, she says your hair falls out? That was one person's perspective. And then the other person's perspective said that in the fall, your hair falls out. But did you notice they both have the same rationale for the same season? So is one of them right? Is one of them wrong, or are they both correct?
Well, I think as hairstylists, we can hear the answer in the things that they say. And she tried to make that there were more sunlight in the fall than in the summer. Do you guys actually know what the solstice is in the, what was it, summer solstice and the equinox or something? Yeah.
Uh-oh, here come the oracle, Hair Savant. I'm starting to itch. Get a little nervous.
Well, it's because.
All right, hold on, wait. Before you, let's see if we can get some answers. Does anyone in the chat know? Don't cheat. Don't go Googling it now, okay? But does anybody in the chat know what solstice? And that's SOLSTICE. I used to think it was SOUL, but I'm from the projects. That's okay. Solstice. Anybody want to take a stab at what that means? I'm going to replay it so you guys can watch it, because I know there's a delay here. So I'm going to replay it, and you guys drop in the chat. Do you know? Is that what you're asking, right, Cheryl?
Well, I'm going to make it akin to what we're talking about.
Okay.
You guys get to.
All right, Chris. All right. Chris, you look at Chris. I got two BFL. Let me pop one up right here. Here you go. That's how I know I'm loved. That go Hattie Mae. Hey, Hattie Mae fine. That's what they call Hattie Mae Sholin fine. Hattie Mae fine as hell.
What she say? What she said?
Chrissy said, look at Chrissy. Damn, Chrissy, you fine too. So Chrissy said, yes, I don't look as fine as them, but I go out with Hattie Mae because I get all her rejects, you know. Hattie Mae toss them. I'll be like, hey, boo, how you doing? Okay, so Chris says she knows what it is. I'm with you, Lisa. I have, I don't know what solstice is, but I don't know what it has to do with hair. Cheryl kind of likes that. And she says, when the sun seems to stand still. Y'all come on in the chat, come on in and have a good time with us tonight. Okay. So there we go. So y'all, they came through quick. That posse come quick because that posse got velocity. So Cheryl,
The sun has nothing to do with the cycle, the tricycle or the triphasal. I don't know if how we have as a cosmetic world when we tell 100 hairs come out a day, and then when September comes, expect 200 or expect 210. I don't know how the industry or trichologists would quantify that. I don't know how they could check that. I don't even know why the rumor I don't even know why it got started, but I will say that the solstice is that the earth tilts up, tilts back. And so when it's starting to get cold or the sun seems to be getting darker early, it is tilting back, and that's away from the sun. That means that it's about to be winter, fall, and winter. Tilts toward the sun, it's about to be spring and summer. And then the equinox is when it's equal. However, has nothing to do with hair. She made a mistake in her statement that there's more sun in the fall. And she did say that. I think I heard her correctly.
yeah, you did.
One of the things that, have you guys heard of evergreens?
Like the trees, the evergreen trees.
There are trees that do not go through a fall. They don't go through the orange and turning red and they don't fall.
Right.
There are evergreens. And that means that their system, how they interact with water and the elements, they have a way of keeping enough resources within its stem, inner root sheath, to be constantly, I think they're called, it starts with the D. It's a certain kind of tree. Anyway, but the human body is an evergreen. It doesn't ever lose its sources. The autoimmune response doesn't just randomly cut off at September and October, and then you lose more hair. That is just, unfortunately, that does not come from cosmetology. I don't know where that comes from. And then most people who have YouTube videos on that are not cosmetologists for some reason. Who told them that?
But a cosmetologist did tell us that, oh, our Nisa, you are absolutely gorgeous. Okay. You girl, you so fine. You made me lose my. Let me take your picture down. You so fine. Make the preacher drink wine.
Some beautiful sisters.
I mean, good Lord, she was gorgeous. But there are that was a licensed cosmetologist who told people that. And this is why this topic today, yes, about distribution and
okay. So when the fact that they told them that, what did that mean? Did that mean that there was a product that they should buy to offset?
And that was the thing, and this is why we need to have this conversation. I don't even know if the company is aware that that is her school of thought. I'm sure the company does not share her sentiments. Okay, so I don't know. But that is what we need to talk about. What is the role of these hair care companies when they have these educators that's just going? I think she totally went off the script, but that was her position, that during the fall she couldn't explain why.
A reason. Well, that is when, as professionals, and let's just say if a pharmaceutical rep just went into a doctor's office or a doctor's conference or a doctor's workshop or summit, and they just said that your eyes will temporarily turn hazel at fall. If you told an optometrist that, you'd have to substantiate it. You can't just say it. It has to be logical. It has to have some kind of lead in, why, how, where, when. It has to be substantiated. We can't, just say anything. And and so let's just say if it did fall, do you think that the industry would have? It would have 15 million products ready for fall, if that was scientifically a basis for that. And unfortunately, about Black people and the things that are about Black people's lives, politics, all the way down to politics, to economics, down to their beauty sciences and their healthcare and their psychological well-being. For some reason, things that have anything to do with our lives, it just gets sensationalized and gets so preposterous and so outlandish that you don't even know why people say certain things. Maybe because we can't check it. Maybe we can't fact check it. Maybe there's just not, in 403 years, there's just not enough really scientific sound study on Blackness and Black people for us to know anything that is just really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So anywho, that's why we said you got to get real. And this
Okay,
is why
I got one for you guys, right?
All right, come on, bring it.
Y'all ready to hear the dumbest shit in politics?
Bring us the dumbest shit in politics.
And I don't know if a business partner of mine, he's a dear friend, keeps me on my toes, intellectually. We have an intelligentsia between him and I. His name is Charles Parisi. And he called me this morning. He said, Cheryl, and he's Italian. He says, okay, I woke up this morning and this happened. He said, please tell me I'm not being punked. And I says, okay, well, what happened? He says, the governor just signed a bill. It's called, we have another Amber Alert. It's called the Ebony Alert, when a Black child goes missing. Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Are you serious?
Now, I want Black people to think about that. So now, every time the Ebony Alert, now they know not to come. You gotta stop doing dumb shit. Why do we do dumb shit? And I can't wait to look up to the person who thought of that. And then the NAACP of California, I'm sure, supported it. And that's why, if Gavin Newsom ever runs for president, I want you guys to know he signed the softest bill, the softest two dumbass bills for Black people. The Crown Act and the Amber Ebony. So when you get an Ebony, you know that child is Black. So now everybody know not to go look.
Wow. Okay, for real.
That is the most polarizing piece of legislation in my lifetime.
Well, we don't like that legislation. Well, here's our second reel. As my man would say, Jack Nicholson, where do you get a load of this one? Cheryl already know. Where do you get a load of this one, guys? Here we go. Speaking of, okay, I don't want to be, here we go.
New tonight, the Barbers Hill High School student fighting to keep his locks will be sent to an alternative school starting tomorrow. That's according to a letter from the principal his family shared with the Associated Press today. We have been telling you about 17-year-old Daryl George, who has been serving in-school suspension since August 31st. The school says his locks violate dress code for being too long.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
We keep
They
telling
finally
you.
let him go. They finally let him go.
They done kicked him out of the school. We told y'all. I told y'all about this before I even met you, Cheryl. I had my reservations about that Crown Act, but Cheryl has told us 1,000 times, we have to move the needle from racism and turn it back onto all of these people who have these issues with the hair, and ask them, what is your problem? Oh, we got the real pseudo, the king of the pseudo killers is in the chat. I'm sorry, I got a little excited, guys. You can see him in our documentary, The Narrative. Brother Unc is in the building, and you can see the inspiration. Unc is like, get it, Dosha, get it, Dosha. Unc, I tell everybody to go check out your channel, The Pseudo Killers. So, guys, there he is. This is the inspiration behind what I do, why I do it, and Cheryl just makes it all make sense. But again, I'm just not. We said it, Cheryl. I said it before I met Cheryl, and then Cheryl came back to say that Crown Act is just not going to be able to work. It's just not gonna happen. All right. And so here he is in the chat. The God Killer is up in this piece. You know Brother Bo when his name is the God Killer. Sure, like yes. Can you just we got some new people in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Like we said, you guys are definitely growing our platform. We appreciate it. So share with our new people, like, why is this bill, like the Crown Act, like it's a junk bill, like, because it sounds really good though. It really does. The Crown Act, protecting hair discrimination, fighting against hair discrimination. I'm sorry.
I will say it once, and I'll say it again. I've said it many times. The Crown Act is not. There is. I'm gonna say it again. There is no such thing as hair discrimination. Okay. They are not discriminating against the fact that you have hair growing out of your skull, of your head. They're not asking you to cut all of it off. They're not telling you to shave it. What they are telling you is that they do not want you to express yourself. I use the word express. When's the last time you guys heard that? That's in the Constitution. Something that you have earned over and over and over and over again. Now, we do not need style protection. We need protection of expression of the First Amendment, which is the constitutional. A religion is a person or a thing or a congregation or an organization that believes in a collective thought of a supreme or something that they value as a culture within a culture. That is our hair. We need to be talking about our hair as we think that it is akin to our human anatomy, not style.
No, the style won't work because the styles are mutable. A person has the right to not like your hair. You can't make a person like. So I knew on that alone, like, I don't know, guys. Hence is why we have this book that we are promoting this month by the one and only Naomi Klein. It is called Doppelganger. And we hope that you guys see the doppelganger and some of these topics that we're talking about. But Cheryl, before we get over into the topic, just, hone in on that just a little bit more, because there are a lot of people who really feel like when you tell somebody you have to have your hair like above your ear and all that, that is discrimination when you.
No, it's not discrimination. Those are what we call in cosmetology standards and regulations. The key here is that the person who originally got hired with that thing that you said, they must change. Now you hired them, right? Now you have to remember that young man's hair is approximately 10 inches long, right?
Right.
He has met the length requirement in the style portion.
He picked it up.
Now, he satisfied the length requirement, but because our jurists, our lawyers, our attorneys are so hell-bent on 20th century, 19th century stupid ass arguments, because it is not about hair discrimination. They're not discriminating against your hair. What they are telling you, and they're telling you, your black ass is still in the black codes. You are still restricted of movements. You cannot express your Africanness the way you want to because you are outside and on the fringe and you are marginalized. That is against the Constitution. And not only because you are an exceptional people, you have an exceptional relationship with the federal government. You have been under federal sanctions. That is against the Constitution. You have to fight. This is called Afrophobia. They will not allow you to satisfy the requirements, which he did. It's above his ears, it's off his neck, and it's away from his forehead. What they are saying, because a Sikh that will tie up his hair and beard and put it in a ball and that is protected under what we call religious regalia. But for some reason, Black people keep making the same mistake over and over. And I tell them all the time, we want constitutional protection instead of creating another subgroup within Black culture called
civil
protective hairstyles.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, that
messing it up every time.
Yeah, it won't work.
Right. And I don't know if you guys understand how important, why they took out of the education, called critical thinking. They took it out so you will not be able to critical think, rub two thoughts together, and abstract think and come up with a new argument. This is Afrophobia. It has always been Afrophobia.
Yeah, it's that
Bo Derek's cornrows or somebody else's cornrows or Kim Kardashian's cornrows is they're white women. They have freedom of expression.
There it is. Hair savant. Hit it. There it is.
You do not. And let me say this. And because the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, says your hairstyle is what? Mutable. You can change it. The problem is with that is that our hair or anybody's hair is not a uniform.
Right.
So if I cut my hair, you have no right to permanently alter so I can fix your dress code, because when I go home, I will still be under a uniform once I leave if I cut my hair. But I get to put on a uniform and then take it off once I get home. So if I can satisfy the length requirement by pinning it up, right? Then I meet the standard. But it's not that. They're not after that. And if we keep being so stupid and we don't make the right arguments, they're going to keep bumping our head.
Yeah. So guys, we have to use the term. Remember, it's Afrophobia, not hair discrimination. And I would have not deduced what Cheryl has said, but I think I do agree with her, and Hair Savant is definitely on it. This is a human right issue.
What did he say? I didn't see
that. Hold on, right quick. Whoops. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Sorry, over here. Hair Savant says we have the right to the liberty and pursuit of happiness, but they try to deny that in every way they can. But we gotta focus on that first part. Those hairstyles, it's just not gonna happen, y'all. I'm telling you.
To be honest, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're not focusing on the liberty. We're not focusing on the Constitution. We're not focusing on the pursuit, because you have to understand, dress codes are for prevention of access and expression limits access, and access limits restrictions of movements. That's why they would put your face, hair, dark skin, curly hair, nappy hair, they would put that on a commerce jar, put your likeness on a syrup jar, put your likeness on a rice box, and it will have the freedom of moving from in and out of countries and country lines and overseas and being exported and imported. But you will body the person who owns the likeness, owns the face, owns the persona. You do not have those same freedoms. We have to stop having these dumbass 20th century language and arguments and get to the 21st century. Use new words and language so we can get to the crux of the problem. The problem is not Black folks. The problem is white folks.
Always have been, always will be. You guys got it? Get it? Got it? Good. So let's move on into the topic tonight. Cheryl, like she said, she was spitting that fire. We've got to have a new conversation. We've got to stop talking about this hair discrimination. It hasn't even worked. It's never going to work. I'm here to tell you guys it's not going to work, which is why Cheryl and I are doing what? Remember, what are we doing? We are writing that bill, the curly hair science bill. We have got to raise our level of thinking and move this conversation beyond these hairstyles. And come on, like she said, it's time to move into the 21st century and stop all this stuff because they're keeping us, as my mama would say, stuck on stupid and parked dumb. All right. But speaking of parked on dumb, let's get into the topic about this whole distribution ship. How did it all get started? So first things first, we have a lot of hairstylists in the chat, and we also have some hair aficionados. We have some barbers in the chat. So for everybody, for the sake of argument, what is an actual distributor? What does that person do in the world of barbering, hair care, cosmetology, and now you have the new niche, natural hairstyling. So what is a distributor or a distribution and all that? What does that mean?
Well, today's language, it is what we call a drop shipper. Today it's called a brand ambassador, or it's called an affiliate program. And from the distributor may not be the person who actually makes the product or make the item, okay? Because the manufacturer deals with a lot of other elements such as plastics and raw goods and big machineries and factories, right? Okay. But a distributor, it's almost like when I say an edifice or I say a complex, or I say an industrial complex, means it has levels, okay? Science and research, and then you have production, and then you have innovation above there, research, innovation, and then you have production, and then you have, manufacturing, and then you have raw goods, and then you have parts. Manufacturers puts all those things together. You even have companies that make machines, so you can go through an assembly line, which is a factory, and then it gets to the manufacturer, and then it gets to the distributor. But
you guys see the complex. That's pretty complex.
Right. And so by the time the distributor used to only be the one that is directly interacting with the wholesaler, aka the salon cosmetologist.
Okay.
Or the beauty supply owner, store owner. Unless the fat manufacturer is the store owner, which is usually they are their own distributor because they have a storefront. But that was not the case in the salon black hair care world. They had manufactured right up under there, and then they would get these contracts. The distributor would get these contracts, and they would go to all the drugstores. Some would deal with salons. Some would deal with drugstores. Some would deal with, nonprofits or whatever the case may be.
Okay. So we're clear on what a distributor. Now, I don't want to make this slant like a black thing, okay? So, but this is an issue that we have in both black and white worlds. So the clips that I'm going to be showing you is really, I'm just trying to give you all like this good old-fashioned American thing. So let's start off with what happened in America. And I think I got a good timeline going, but Cheryl just broke it down today. A distributor is basically an affiliate or a brand ambassador. But back in the day, this was a very complex system that started at research and development all the way down to the actual service providers such as myself and Cheryl, and then right over to you, the customer. So let's see what I got here to get this conversation going. Here we go, guys. Let's get ready.
African American women spend billions every year on black hair products. Even though they only make up 10% of the American population, they buy 70% of all wigs and extensions purchased here in the United States.
It's very important. They take their last dime to get their hair done.
So we see the need for a distributor is starting at the consumer demand. So let's work our way back into how does the company decide what to make for us? Because in my salon, we have a commitment. We only buy from companies who either work with or products that are created somehow, that cosmetologist or barber in mind. I have found that when we just buy from people who just randomly make stuff and sell it, we're stuck with products with no way to get real help behind the chair. So work our way back. So they said Black women or women, we consumers buy all of the stuff. How does a company decide what to make for us, or are we telling them what to make? Because
well, let's just peel it back and go through, like I said, the pharmaceutical companies. Does the doctor tell the pharmaceutical company what to make?
I don't think so.
No, because they're too busy in medical school, medical
Right.
boards, and fixing people. However, there is a top layer of research and development. But because we are bankrupt in terms of research and development for professional salon treatments. Okay. Now, you remember, and I can speak for myself because I can only speak for the company I grew up in, which is Willie Morrow at California Curls. I can only really regurgitate what my life was. But I do remember just growing up into those families, the great dynasties of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? That the relationship, the guardians of the gate, or the gatekeepers, were these professional organizations who spoke to research and development. And because Dr. Morrow, my dad, was first out of Miss Gardner, which is, soft sheen, and then you had Whirl of Curls, and then you had Johnson, and then you had Bronner brother, you had,
right.
all of them, and so once you had those, they did not really have a conversation with the hairstylist in the salon and the consumer. They saw trends or decided to do just like most clothing designers, Givenchy and Tom Ford and Gucci and Louis Vuitton. They make things that they see, they make the trends. So they didn't wait until, 1960s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, they weren't waiting for you to communicate to them what was going on.
Okay, so there you guys have it. I think a lot of people really think that the barbers and the hairstylists, that we are up at the front, but Cheryl just broke it down that's what we do, pseudo killers. Even if that person is a hairstylist, remember now, they're not really waiting for Ladosha to shave off her hair or Cheryl to put this cap on. They're going to be on the pulse of what they see. They're going to create the stuff, and then we're going to buy it. So let's walk us through how it all got started. Here's another clip. I think you'll like this.
Is this true that the Koreans dominate the black hair industry? What you're looking at is one of the Black Beauty Supply magazines that inform people who are interested in black hair products. All the ads and articles are about African Americans and their hair. And even though all the information is about blacks, half of this magazine is in Korean.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
All right, so now we have the products are being made, right? They're now that's the part. Now the products are made. Now the companies are buying them. Now, everybody in the chat, I hope you're walking with me on this one. Why are we buying them? So how are they able to buy the stuff before us, or are Black people buying different from white people, Puerto Ricans? Like, how is it that we are not buying from the person who made those products? I
Now,
see Teray. We got, what's up, Teray? A couple of shout outs. Sure. I said we got Miss Teray Green. What's up, Teray? Is in the chat. My brother Shan. Hey, Esther, what's happening? Lisa, we love you so much. Thank you so very much. We really, really appreciate you. But how is it that African Americans are not at that beauty supply level? We're over on the salon. Do we have a different thought processes? Where's our book? Where's our OTC?
Let's go to 1930, 1940s. Black people. This is critical thinking. Write this down, because we're going to stop this stupid.
Come on, Harrison Vaught. I got our notebook. Okay. Come on, Esther. I'm ready.
All right. So first of all, we're going to stop saying that we not. We did. You were segregated. You were segregated. You had your own beauty supplies. You had your own Black distributors. You just said it. You had your own distributors. White folks, Mexican, Latinos, and Asians was not coming in your salon in 1930, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Stop that. They was not. Black folks had it. Now, the question is, how do we lose it? Now, if we can have that conversation, now that is a truer conversation. And by the way, so you can stop another pseudo dumbass conversation with each other. And let me just say this. Dumbass conversation between Black people is dangerous because it makes us feel bad. It makes us, it really tampers with our self-esteem. And then we feeling bad and the shit ain't even true. Okay? Koreans did not take your industry. Stop saying it. It didn't.
Oh, sure. But come on, y'all, don't get quiet in the chat. Shan says this, and I think he might be. They're doing all the research we should be doing. You don't think they scoping us out? And
well, that's the problem. Now, wait a minute. So let me just say this: if they were doing research, wouldn't they have come up with a safer relaxer instead of saying relaxer causes cancer? They ain't as money hungry as white folks are. You already know. If they could have, they would have. They just said you buy billions of dollars. We would have, They don't know what the hell they doing. We stopped doing it. So now everybody is stopped and stuck waiting on Black folks to get a goddamn clue and get back in the lab and get out the kitchen so we can get some damn technology. They waiting on us because we were there. You ain't never saw no Black folk. We only did hair in the kitchen. We didn't make shit in the kitchen. You don't see no George Washington Carver and his protege Austin Curtis in no kitchen. Lab people. That's what we do. The only thing we do science in the garden. We did science on the plantation. We did science. They didn't bring no dummies here. Who does that? We're going to go get some dumb help. Ain't nobody on the planet do that. Now, I digressed. But Koreans did not take. Koreans came here. They was always in the beauty supply business. They sold wigs, keychains, flip-flops, and karate movies and incense. That's what they sold all the time. Y'all went in there and shit for a quick wig. That's it. They was always there. What you talking about? They ain't came to. Now, the question is, if you want to get into a real conversation that has some logic, has some medicine, salve, and a solution. Now, we can talk about that. We had it. The question is, how did we lose it? That's a whole nother podcast. But I'm going to explain, and I can always prove my point. Who runs, and maybe two answers. Who runs telecommunications?
Who runs telecommunications?
Who runs telecommunications?
All right, the FCC. Who? Everybody.
What companies runs telecommunications? How we communicate? What companies? What technology companies runs telecommunications?
Okay. Lisa said the government. I said AT&T. Anybody else in the chat?
One more. Come on.
One more. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. We need one more. We got the government. Okay, Lisa says Verizon. Lakeisha said Fox. Oh yeah, Fox.
Okay, now let's get it. So we can go to the next point. It's called Apple and Samsung.
What?
We just said production. We just said technology and innovation. Didn't we say that? It's at the top of the edifice. Okay. Then they put those parts and go to the part companies and the people who make the resins and plastics and chips and all that, motherboards and all that, and LED lights and screens and shit. And then they go to manufacturing. Right? Now, to make my point, when did I ever mention distribution? Because the shit's down here. You cannot take, in theory or any sophistication or collaboration, you cannot ever take over an industry at the distribution level.
I'm confused. Anybody in the chat? You done went past. What's up, Mona Me? Esther, come on, Esther, with your smart ass. You get this? I'm kind of slow. Esther, help me out. Throw me a lifeline.
Koreans could not take over Black folks. If Black folks was in technology, innovation, production, research, way down here is distribution. How can Koreans come in here and take over the whole thing at this level and the whole upper levels are open? Because Black folks was up there. That's why Mr. Morrow will always say how he created a multi-billion industry, because he was a smart Black man. And he said, I'm going to make a different cold wave. I'm going to own the technology, own the education, own the label, own the salons. We're going to be all up here. And we don't care about what's going on down there. If Black folks want to get on the distribution, they can. Fine. But Koreans was always right here. They always sold wigs. They was there in 1934. They was always there. Now, question is, okay, well, damn. So my dad would always tell me, he said, stop telling Black people what we lost. Then that tampers with our collective self-esteem. Stop saying that. Well, that didn't happen. If we lost it, we have to find out what we did to own it and control it and influence it. Then we got to go back to that. It hard. It's not hard. But at the end of the day, what did Irving Bachner say in 1986 to Jesse Jackson? Your ass gonna lose all your shit because you want to give your people garbage. Instead of Black people are the most sophisticated consumers on earth. They like quality. And I'm afraid their brother won't do them any good. He said in 1990, you will have zero because you won't invest in quality, innovation, technology, production. Wow. You won't do it.
Here go Harrison Vaughn. There you go. He hate to say it. There it is.
That part.
Come on.
Right after the curl, we went back to what? A plantation mixture of relaxer, just potatoes, and Vaseline, what they call petrolatum, and hydroxide. We went right back to it instead of creating, and that's when Mr. Morrow created the reformation and the shock treatment.
Wow.
And
so
he said,
so Harrison Vaughn, you're following this all the way through. Me and Lisa, we kind of like, George, could you tell me about the house again, George? So some of us are a little sore, but the chat is lit. It is on fire. Before we get to our next point, I just want to take a few moments out to get everybody in the chat, because you guys are our partners to do this right here, right now. All right, the chat is on fire. So here goes our next clip that gives a little bit more. I want to call this one I think he kind of anywho, here we go. Here's the clip. Here we go. Do you know this man, Cheryl? Here we go.
And this magazine, Beauty Times, which is the #1 publication for Black beauty store owners, is written entirely in Korean. It's here, inside Beauty Times, that I spot Dr. Tony Leno, a black hair expert who writes a monthly column for this magazine. A column which not even he can read. I contact him and he invites me to Los Angeles to learn more about the Southern California black hair industry.
Now where we are now, this is the famous Crenshaw corridor where many of the elite black businesses are.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Okay, do you know Tony Leno?
That's Uncle Tony.
Look at that! Did y'all see this? This is why we have get over on Planet Pluto Pseudo. Where do you go find research? Cheryl, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me just get off for 1 second.
I think I saw Mr. Leno. No, they're like, I mean, come on, black hair. I just saw the Bronner brothers from the beginning to like 2000, maybe 1990s. It was a close knit. You had billions of dollars between only 6-7 families.
But you don't think he was giving up the grapes, writing for them, and couldn't even read Korean? I mean, come on, Tony.
But you have to understand. Now, Mr. Morrow created the first blow comb attachment on the blow dryer, right? Mr. Morrow started making it in vinyl. It's called unbreakable. Do you know that Koreans have yet to make an investment into unbreakable? Because Mr. Morrow was making it for hairstylists. Koreans is making it for 5 minutes. They don't care. They're not competing with you. They're not competing. Black people, you can completely dominate, but you refuse. Now, how many times do I say that's one of the reasons why I want to invest in this new bill, because every next black hair care billionaire is in HBCUs, chemical engineers. They just need to know what to do and when to do it. We can send everybody home broke in all these European markets, all these African. The problem is that we won't invest in the internal industrial complex because there's too much. And see, I don't believe in generational gaps. There is no such thing of a generational gap for Black people. We have a trust gap, not an economic one. You don't trust me that I know that relaxer don't cause cancer because my black ass say it with my black tongue and my big ass lip, and I'm looking at you and I'm black. You don't believe me.
Guilty! I'm guilty, y'all. I'm guilty again.
Yeah, me and you talked about that.
Yeah, I'm guilty. Whew. This podcast is just, I mean, it never goes the way I'm thinking it's going to go. I'm thinking you're going to really, I'm with you, Shan. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And Charlotte said, we are missing our mark. We are not focused on the right things. We need to do our part and really get our stuff together. Hair Savant just said it. We're lazy, guys. We don't want to go to school. Okay.
And we don't necessarily have to, all the creators, because you have to understand, most of the men and women who's built $1 billion and built your inheritance did not intend for you to hustle on the money. They meant for you to stand there and get your inheritance and accumulate and build and launch on top of that and accumulate more. You don't have to be a genius. All of the people who built the black hair care industry got equivalent damn near over 5th grade education.
Damn, Gina, we got a bitch. I am the worst though.
They're not college. S.B. Fuller wasn't college educated. They couldn't go to school. Sarah Spencer Washington, Madam C.J. Walker, Annie Malone, these are not just scholars. Stop that. You only went, let me tell you something. My father told me this. He said, listen, I will never forget, graduated from high school. I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be an astronomer or I want to be in telecommunications. He said, telecommunications. Well, what's that? How does that make money? You know what I mean? And straight up. Because at the end of the day, you was not supposed to be in college unless you were supposed to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, or a teacher. Your ass didn't have no business going. And that is why at early Howard University, research it, look it up, early pictures. I forgot the man's name. The pictures are there. That Howard University just did not teach no dumb ass frivolous bullshit courses. They had those nurses, lawyers, doctors, teachers. Then they had businesses like butter making, sewing, tailoring, shoemaking, cobbler. You were supposed to do something to have a business.
Oh, that was Booker T. Washington.
That was Tuskegee. That was Tuskegee. But they all had them. There was only you weren't coming into college to be no graphic artist. You get in class to be about a year for graphic art. You talented, then your ass is good. If you ain't good, you ain't got no customers. You ain't, it's not about having a 4-year degree in something dumb. Black colleges were not educating. So those companies, George Johnson and S.B. Fuller and Eunice Johnson, these were not scholars. These were C-suite business people. They just had an opportunity and they made their money work. But Dr. Katie Wickham, these are not scholars. And I don't understand. And I do understand that there's a flux of, terrible minds, a thing to waste. But at the end of the day, just think about the skill level. And I never forget, we were at Howard. My father looked at the class of Howard. Could have been 2007 class of 2007. And he said, they look so cute. They look so gorgeous. And those are the most beautiful, probably, minds in the world. But they do not know what their grandfather and grandmother knew. They just they don't know how to plant a seed. They don't know how to sew a button. They don't know how to make a pair of pants. They don't know how to make butter and food. They don't know they don't know.
Let me just say this. I think, Cheryl, she is 100% correct, because when I went over to the Gambia, you had your education, but you needed to know how to do all of those things. Just to kind of quote how much we're on point and how much this book, Doppelganger, because remember, something strange is happening right before our very eyes. How did we cede so much territory? All right. And so Steve Bannon is the person that we're talking about, but maybe we're talking about ourselves, okay? So just right quick, Steve Bannon, regardless of whatever else he may be, is first and foremost a strategist. And so as he has the knack for identifying issues that are natural territory of his opponents, but that they have neglected or betrayed, leaving themselves vulnerable to having parts of their base wooed away. And I think this is what Harris Savant is saying again, is that what? We're not trusting of ourselves, again, of each other. That's Doppelganger right on the post of Harris Savant and Cheryl Morrow. But Esther has a question for you, Cheryl. She wants to know, her question is, well, how do you even get into distribution? She feels like the basics would be a factory, equipment, a truck or two, but how would that be funded? And who in the ham sandwich would we sell this stuff to? So I know that's a loaded question, but maybe you could just kind of, break that down just a little bit, help her out there. That's a good question, by the way.
Right. Well, distribution is only relationships. It's not a factory. It's not a truck. It's not equipment. That would be the production. So it's above that. Okay. Now, between the years of 2006, maybe the beginning of Y2K, but you had a Black phenomenon that fits right under the book. That's why the book is so powerful to read, because we created an other. It's called Black owned. And like I told y'all last week, what did you guys think Black hair care, the word Black, stood for in the word Black hair care industry? What does Black stand for? The Black people who are doing the innovation, research, production, goods, trucks, all of that. Black folks were doing it. We didn't need to say Black founder because that's that's redundant. We were Black folk. We don't need to be Black founders because
you're insulting us right now. Cheryl, you're being very insulting.
You understand what I'm saying? We don't need, so we created what we call Black founder. Then we, in 2003, 2004, we created what we call Black owned beauty supply. We didn't need to call ourselves Black owned because we were already Black doing it. So when a new generation comes and creates a doppelganger and says Black founder and Black owned, we thought we weren't doing it. And when you now see that you weren't doing it, now you saw Ultra Sheen, Afro Sheen, Stay Soft Fro, you saw Pink Oil, you saw Lusters, you saw Summit, you saw Johnson, you saw Duke, you saw all of that. You saw it. You saw Vera Moore in cosmetics. You saw Fashion Fair. What made us go for the other? And that's what Steve Bannon is saying. Let me create their Achilles heel to make them all over again so they think that they're not doing it. Now, then when they think that you're not doing it, they think they're not doing it. So that means that we now, in the 21st century, we've never had it in the 18th century, 19th century, 20th century. Now in 21st century, we are going to really be in on their retail dollar. They never had it prior to that. So in the natural hair care movement, another doppelganger. You already had an Afro hair movement. You didn't need another one. So when that came, that became, and to answer your question, Miss Esther, that's why you needed to be a Black beauty supply owner. You already were that. You didn't need to do it again. So now the problem is why most, so you had Black people, this Negro named Devin Robinson, you got BOPSA, Black Owned Beauty Supply Association, which now let me just go to show you how ironic. The popular movie, How the Black People Lost the Black Hair Care Industry, when that never happened, which is other, okay? It's on YouTube. It was done by a Jewish guy named Raman Anan or something like that, right? Do you know he shot the movie, his documentary, at the BOPSA Summit?
Yeah, I have that clip.
Now,
she's not making it up. I think.
Now I'm gonna right. You got it. Now, what is going to be mind blowing, as they would say in TikTok land? Wait for it. It's gonna blow your mind.
I got a little snippet, not much, but here it is.
Decided to try to find out here at the Black Hair Extravaganza. Follow the money.
Thermal mist is for your heat style. You never use it? It's awesome.
Step 3. Apply the thermal straightening balm. Section the hair into...
We think the African-American style is a very big business.
Almost every week they change the style for hair.
Everybody wants to be a part of our market because we're the #1 consumer. We spend 10 to 1 on anybody in hair. In the retail market right now, majority of the retail stores are ran by Koreans. And more of the Korean stores that are ran by, the 90%, are supported 100% by Black African money.
That was shot at that BOPSA. So she is correct. I didn't even know Cheryl know anything about it, though I'm not surprised. But that is where that...
I'll tell you why I know.
Uh-oh.
All right, pin down your wigs, baby. Dr. Morrow was the keynote speaker to how to get out of this mess, but he never covered it. Because he wanted to exploit it. He didn't record Mr. Morrow's keynote.
Wow.
Because he exploited the problem. And we went, Mr. Morrow, and I remember what he had on. He had on a gold brown suit and a blue tie and a white shirt. I remember it. And he told them we needed to make and create and design our way out of this conundrum, like we did when at the 20th century, 19th century, we make a better mousetrap. That's what we do. And stop now, because at the end of the day, why are Black beauty supplies suffering? Why are Black beauty supplies struggling? Because being Black ain't enough.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, the reason why Black distributors were so powerful and rich and enriched is because the products they were selling, we owned and control. You cannot and will not ever enrich yourself when you are competing with Walmart, Target, because Black people are price purchasing.
Right.
They purchase price in a demographic. They don't price when it comes to a handbag. They're not price conscious when it comes to them Gators. They're not price conscious when it comes to those Super Bowl tickets.
No.
Not the Mercedes Benz.
Not them Beyonce tickets either.
Not them Beyonce tickets neither. People, we buy what we want and we discount and we lower the price for what we need. So bobby pins and hair nets and all that crap, Black beauty supplies cannot compete with Walmart, Target.
Right. Well, they can't. We have issues, but then we also see this on the other side. So here we go. Let's get ready. Here we go. As we wrap this things up, here we go.
We set out to make the finest hair care products in the world. We never tested on animals, and we love the environment. Our success makes us a target for counterfeiters. They copy our packaging and basically sell you an inferior product.
Need to leave that dope alone.
All right, here we go, guys. We about to wrap it up, but it's getting thick. So what about the diversion? You said all this stuff we need to do. We're doing our part. There's still some hairstylists and barbers in the chat. We're buying all this stuff, but now we have this big thing called diversion. I know it's getting late, but can you please just, if you can get nothing off the top of this situation on the conversation of distribution, your product representatives and so on and so forth, is diversion real? Are they really taking Paul Mitchell and all the other design essentials and they're going to make it counterfeit and sell it in CVS, the grocery stores, and your closeouts like Big Lots and Target and Ross's? And is that real?
Well, let's do this thing, but you have to understand once, and we have not talked beauty business from, an executive perspective, because most hairstylists and most people are not interested in, or there's no school to teach it. Because when you have the OTC world, remember, you never would see a Paul Mitchell or a salon brand, Tresemme, or any high-end salon brand. You would never see them in stores. The problem is that what specialty salons and what specialty stores couldn't sell, they ended up on discounted at 99-cent stores. Then they ended up at Target, or what they call FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, which is right under OTC. So they're always diverging. They're not diverging it maybe in the bottle, because who has time to do that? You know, I mean, that's a real hustler right there, right? But these big companies and big outlets.
Well, he just said that there is counterfeit.
Well, what is the book teaching you? Black people, if I tell you that watch out for counterfeiters, what did I actually say? What did I actually say?
Oh.
Watch out for counterfeiters. Now, if there's never counterfeiters, I'm tricking you so you'll always buy it from me. You see the marketing?
Oh, I missed that one. I gotta take this damn blonde out my hair. Jesus Christ, for crying out loud.
Well, you have to teach Black people how to hear, because English language is codified. They actually are really not saying what they're saying. If I want to, and I know that I don't have, because I know who originally made Paul Mitchell, because my father took me to the lab. It's in Los Angeles. I knew who made Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell was a hairstylist. Who the fuck did he, excuse my French, and like when did he learn some technology? He ain't never learned that shit. He was just a fancy white boy, just like Vidal Sassoon, Frederick Fakai, Laura Lapine.
This podcast is too pure and unadulterated.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, come on. They don't know nothing that anybody else ain't found out, and then they mix the magic potion, unless you are making high technology to alter, enhance, and treat cosmetically, as in the curl, the relax, or the keratin. Now, they may be doing some dumbass shit, but my point is that conditioner and shampoos is just a matter of 3-card Monty, boom, 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 and they're mixing up some wonderful stuff. But my point is that diversion, when I say, hey, watch out for counterfeiters, I'm letting you know that I'm original. When I know I'm vulnerable for someone to come behind me and copy. But if I tell you that go with the original, I'm the first, watch out for counterfeiters. It ain't even got to be no counterfeiters. But just the fact that I said it.
Woo, Esther was on it. I knew it. I'm with you, Lisa. I love it here. Esther was all the way. I'm up here slow, Esther. I'm like, I don't know what it means when they say, that it's fake, it's poison. But my son told me, my son used to work at this Rite Aid. It's a pharmacy, Rite Aid. And he told me that Paul Mitchell and them, because you have to buy, I didn't know this, but you have to buy the shelf space in those stores. So he told me that they buy the shelf space, that Paul Mitchell, because they stock the stores like in the middle of the night, and that they actually bought the space to put it in there, and that they would not be he said, Mom, do you think Rite Aid is going to catch a copyright infringement suit messing around with Paul Mitchell? Here I go, Esther. George, could you tell me about the house again? I felt so dumb. I was just like, what? They told us. He was like, oh, Mom, take your damn blinders and open them up. I believed him. I didn't even give it any second thought. I really thought it was knockoff. And I was thinking about in New York, how they have the knockoff purses. He was like, Mom, no, it's not happening. So,
now, let me ask you a question. Let me make his point. What if you never used Paul Mitchell, the original? How would you know it was the original or not? If you ain't ever used it, you know what I mean? Like, how would you know quality versus under quality, knockoff quality?
Because those seeds, the knockoff first, the
seeds
don't eat right.
He wanted you to know that we are the shit and we are Paul Mitchell, the original. So the original person has to be the puppeteer that puts out the propaganda that people are duplicating them, so you can make sure that you come to me.
Oh my, listen at this one. Here's a good one. And we're going to wrap this up to Cheryl's point. Here we go. Ooh, Esther, she's
You may not realize it, but where you buy your professional hair care products truly matters. Professional hair care products have always been intended to be sold strictly by licensed salons. Many of the proceeds from these products support the environment, education, and benefits of the salon you go to. I want to make you aware that when you choose to buy a product from a drugstore or a big chain box store, you're not only disrupting the natural flow of how the business was intended, you're supporting a wrongful act in the beauty industry known as product diversion.
The dumbest shit people say about black hair.
And so I believe that, y'all. I did. I believed it wholeheartedly. I do agree that when you don't buy from us, that you do, that money does support the business. So I do tell the customers the truth because they ask, well, what's the difference? I said, well, if you buy it from us, you're supporting us. We're educating you. I got my spiel. But back in the day, hey, hair savant, I could repeat that better than he could. Because I didn't realize, to you and Esther's point, that they really were making us buy more of their stuff. And I did. I bought a lot more of their stuff now that I think back on it. But it just, guilty. I got a lot of guilties on this. I'm guilty of so much stuff. Yeah. Doppelganger is our book. Go ahead, Cheryl. I got one last point. Go ahead.
What I wanted to just basically say, well, I was just going to close out. Though it's late, but just close out. One of the reasons why I thought it was very profound when a young girl said, yeah, you talk about generational wealth. You guys talk about how rich the black hair care industry was. Well, where's the children? Like, where's the generations? Where are you guys? And she was completely right. Where are the, because, my friend Bernard on LinkedIn, he's always with his brothers, and it is still wealth being enjoyed from those eras by the heirs, me being one of them. I totally get it. But I want to just say that it is important, and the reason why the Afro Hair Science Summit is important, because I am going to be pouring into this information from a perspective that Black children, young people, adults do not hear. I grew up in a world of rich Asians and Black folks, and obviously Europeans. In that world, you get spoken to in ways that do not tamper with your well-being. It just completely skyrockets you all the time. Positive influence, and you're always learning this language. So in other words, if we don't get anything from this podcast, please understand, I will never teach a product owner, a product designer, anyone who creates wants a patent, wants a trademark, whatever the case may be. They teach you in traditional school, oh, you create a product that solves a problem. That's what they always say. A good product solves a problem. Yeah, it does. But a good product owner always creates a problem.
Oh, did y'all hear that? Oh,
always remember that.
Pin drop. Woo, that's fire.
Always remembers.
Keep this in mind too. Here again, we're talking about doppelganger, and you probably have heard me use this term, denialism. So here she goes. She says, but so too is what more centrist leaders have been doing for much longer. Using words, here you go, hair savant, using words as intended, yet with no intention of acting on them. And one form of denialism feeds the other. The outright denialism in the mirror world is made thinkable by baseline war on words and meaning in more liberal parts of our culture, hence diversion. Again, we're talking doppelganger. And we could see that this book, the barber and beauty industry, the natural hair movement, is definitely drawing on parallels in this book. And Cheryl and I, we are not even planning this. It is as if Nancy, I need to reach out to her, Naomi Klein. I keep calling her Nancy. Like, girl, get my name right. It is as if Naomi knows exactly what we are going through here. The doppelganger in the industry is not a joke. We do have a few more seats available at the Afro Hair Science Summit. If you guys could be so kind, number one, share the channel. Please do that. Number two, please come back and join us on Tuesday. And we're going to go a little bit more into detail about the whole season changing, and Cheryl's going to go a little bit more into that. We're also going to talk about lunar hair care. Does the moon, the phases of the moon, how does that affect the hair? It's very popular. The famous hair shaman, I actually mentioned him in my book because people are into that. I personally like the lunar hair care, but Cheryl's going to let me know if I'm being pseudo out here. So lunar hair care is, we're going to talk about that as well. And then next week, we're going to do something very wonderful here on this platform. Let's talk about what the young lady asked Cheryl, well, where are the children of these people? So she is the child of one of Dr. Morrow. Has more than just Cheryl, but just, of Dr. Willie Morrow. And so we're going to talk about his inventions. So we're going to highlight some of the combs. Let's talk a little bit about that cold wave, because like she said, ever since then, we ain't did nothing. Harrison Vaughn just pointed out that we're lazy. So let's watch next week to see if we can be inspired of what more we can do beyond the chair. Okay, we could do more than just hair. And like Cheryl said, it's not about these degrees that we think we have to have. And I know for a fact that Dr. Morrow definitely set an outstanding example. Do you have any closing thoughts for us about this whole conversation? Everybody here we go. Yeah, you know what, Cheryl? Let's give away one of those non-breakable blow dryer comb attachments. All right, so we're gonna put a catch to this by way of sharing the content, and maybe bring a friend with you in the chat and introduce them, and maybe we'll have a comb or two to give away. So Esther T. Jones, we're gonna call this the Esther T. Jones non-breakable blow dryer comb giveaway. We're gonna name this giveaway after you, Miss Esther. So get ready. We'll put some rules of engagement on it. But do you have any closing thoughts for us about the whole conversation of distributionship, being a distributor, being a representative, and so on and so forth? The good, the bad.
Yeah, I think the next wave, and I think also once I see and get into Ohio, is making sure that we have plans and we come together and create a group so we can be and create a new business model in the beauty supply space. I think that there is a lot of vulnerability that Black people can move in terms of textured hair, and a lot of throwback formulas, a lot of throwback things that we can bring back to the forefront. I think that it's just like really weird to me that we have not created our own version of Ulta and Sephora, because there are a lot of brands and wonderful promise and futuristic things that we could do. And I mean, we could blow the industry to smithereens.
Wow.
If we could really, and I'm working on that concept to the point where you can walk in, it looks gorgeous, and you have professional on one side and consumer on the back. There is plans for having a custom blend bar, and you have your mini manufacturer right there on the premise, so you can get your products made. You don't have to get shelf, and you can go buy throwbacks and old wonderful brands and combs. You don't know, you never went into a beauty supply and really went to a comb boutique and really bought these wonderful combs. I have all my father's original molds, and can still manufacture them. One of the things but we just need to talk about.
Okay.
Just coming up with fresh new ideas, because at the end of the day, there's nothing really new coming out of white hair care either. That gets to understand, but we have to be vigilant and look at markets and start talking about different stuff instead of talking about the same thing.
And that's why we're pushing for the curly hair science. And as you can see on both sides of the spectrum, whether you're a barber, cosmetologist, natural hairstylist, black, white, Puerto Rican, it doesn't matter. The beauty industry needs an enema. And so we have some great.
Good point.
And I'm just going to put my brother on blast right quick. He says he will sponsor some giveaways. Woo! So gladly take your money. So we will give away. I'll just post all week long that you can win a in the Esther T. Jones blow dry giveaway contest. So we're going to make sure we get some of those giveaways out. And Esther, we know you can afford it, but you know we love y'all on this platform, so we like to show you better than we can tell you. In the meantime, we'll be back.
And we'll throw in, because I want you guys to comb pink for the month of October. We've got pink Easy Teeth, the only patented comb in the history of beauty that has the patent actually imprinted in the comb.
We're gonna go over that. I'm gonna scour that patent like I do my tub and my toilet. I want to scour that patent.
All you gotta do is put Willie Morrow patented Easy Teeth comb in Google. It comes up, y'all.
All right, so we're going to talk about that and a whole bunch of other Dr. Willie Morrow's inventions, including his movie, 400 Years Out of Comb. So let's get ready. You guys join us next week right back here on Planet Pluto Pseudo. Make sure y'all keep y'all motherships all clean and get y'all jet rocket fuel and all that stuff. Put that money over to the side. We'll be back Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And again, that's on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. Hair Savant, it's the countdown is getting close for me to meet you in real life. You guys know what we say when we're signing off right here on Planet Pluto Pseudo, and that is good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And boy, do we have our work cut out for us. Thank you so much, Cheryl. You are absolutely phenomenal. Okay. The Hair Oracle is saying deuces.